We are making a Bombay style biryani today.
I really need you to hear what I'm saying.
I'm going to use the Laziza spice mix for this biryani, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I went to 3 different shops and nobody had Laziza anywhere. And then someone told me in my DMs that Laziza has stopped producing spices and they're pretty much out of stock everywhere. So I was very heartbroken about that. So I decided to pick up the Shan Bombay Biryani Masala mix, which is also alright. I mean, I have tried it before, but it's just that I prefer the Laziza one. But this is still also good. It will work fine and it will still taste good, I promise you. So that is what we are using today. So we're going to start by washing and soaking our rice, because we need to soak our rice. So by the time our masala is preparing, our rice will have soaked enough. Wash your rice and soak your rice. So you wash it a few times. So put some water in there and then just give it a shake about like so. So empty out that starchy water. Then same thing, we're rinsing and repeating. And we do that until majority of the water runs clear. I think 4 or 5 times is enough for washing. And then we fill up the bowl with water, enough water to cover our rice, just like that. And then we're going to leave it to soak now, okay? So let's put our rice up to the side. Now we're going to move on to prepping some of our ingredients. Start off with our onions. So we're going to slice our onions, okay? So however you normally do yours, guys, we've got 4 medium onions here, which we're going to slice. I'm cutting 4 medium onions because you need, with biryani, you need quite a bit of masala, okay? That's what biryani is all about. It's about the masala, and the way you make the masala is with your onions and your tomatoes. So we've got 4 medium onions here, 3 medium-ish sized potatoes. You can use less or more, or you can leave out the potatoes completely. That's entirely up to you. So we're going to peel our potatoes, okay? Right, so I'm just going to wash our potatoes. Once you've washed your potatoes, you're just going to chop your potatoes into small chunks. So just eyeball it. So you want 1.5 inches, 2 inches big. Okay, and just put them in a bowl. Okay, so I've chopped up my potatoes. I'm just going to soak them in water until we're ready to use them, because it stops them from browning, okay? Our tomatoes, so we're just going to chop them into small cubes. So I'm going to give them a rinse as well. So just chop them into small cubes. Let me move these out of the way so you can see. So we're going to make our own garlic and ginger paste. So we're going to use a full bulb of garlic. So peel your garlic. That's going to go into your blender, okay? An inch-sized piece of ginger I'm going to use. So just chop that off. Peel your ginger. Just cut it up and then put it into your blender as well. Now what we're going to do is add a little bit of water to that. So I'll say about 2 tablespoons of water can go into that. And then you just basically blend it until it becomes a paste, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move you guys over to the pot so that you can see what's happening in the pot rather than see my horrible face. So let's move over. Okay, so we're going to start off by putting our oil in. So you need about 200 milliliters of oil, which is about 1 cup of oil. Okay, so just put 1 cup of oil in there in your pot. So let that heat up for a few seconds. Then we're going to go in with all our onions that we chopped. So the onions are going to take about 10 minutes to start browning. So it's going to take a little while to do this. You're just sauteing your onions until they start to go light brown, okay? Right, so the onions have started to change colour. As you can see, they've started to go golden. So at this point, I'm going to add in my tomatoes, okay? All of my chopped tomatoes are going in. We're going to stir fry this again for a few minutes until the tomatoes begin to soften. So like I said, this is probably the most time consuming part, the softening of the onions and the tomatoes. Okay, so everything has pretty much softened now. So we're going to go ahead and add our chicken. Okay, so I'm adding all my chicken in now. Okay. And then we're going to add in also our garlic and ginger paste. And then your masala packet. This masala packet is enough for 3 cups of rice. So I'm adding the whole packet in. I'm just going to stir fry that a little bit first. So after mixing that in, I'm also going to go in with my yogurt now. 240 grams of yogurt, or 1 cup of yogurt, okay, which goes in, which is roughly about half a pot of your small pots of yogurt. So the yogurt again is tangy, it's acidic, it helps break everything down, but also creates a nice masala, okay. So add your yogurt in and then give it a stir. And immediately you can smell the aroma. I just want to bring it up to temperature before I add my potatoes in, okay? Now, if you're not using potatoes, guys, then I wouldn't add any water, simply because the yogurt has enough water in it to cook the chicken. Okay, the only reason why I'm going to add some water later is to cook the potatoes. Alright? So yeah, if I wasn't adding potatoes, guys, I wouldn't add any water in. I would just stir fry this now until the chicken was cooked. Alright, so that's just a tip for you guys if you're not using potatoes. Yeah. And now that it's come up to temperature and it started bubbling again, I'm going to get rid of the water from my potatoes and then add my potatoes in. Okay. Also, if you were using lamb instead of chicken, at this point you would add 2 cups of water and then bring it up to boil and then put the lid on and allow it to simmer until the lamb was cooked, okay? And then stir fry them in. I'm just going to add a cup of water to that, and this is just to have enough water in there to allow the potatoes to cook. I'm going to allow it to boil, and then I'm going to cover it and cook it with the lid on until the potatoes are cooked. Right, so that's come to a boil. So I'm just going to put the lid on and I'm going to let it cook on low. Let's put the lid on and I'm just going to put it on a low heat. I'm just going to allow that to simmer now so that the potatoes can boil in there. Whilst that is cooking, we're going to move on to boiling our white rice, okay, because it's been soaked long enough now. So what we're going to do is to speed up the process, we're going to boil some water in the kettle. I've got my kettle here, I'm going to fill it with water. Let's boil the kettle. I'm going to move this pot now to the front, the empty pot, and the pot that's cooking our masala, I'm just going to move that to the back because we're going to just allow that to cook on a low heat, okay? And the one that I'm going to boil the rice in, I'm just move that to the front. So guys, my kettle is boiled. We're going to put all of the water into our pot, boiling water. May actually need more. So I'm going to boil another kettle as well because that was not enough water. So second kettle is boiled, that's going in as well. So I put about 1.5 kettles of water. Salt, guys. I like to add a teaspoon of salt per cup of rice. So we've got 3 cups of rice here. So we're adding 3 teaspoons of salt, okay, into the water to boil our rice. Let's just put this on. Let's put the heat on underneath our boiled water, just so that it stays hot. Drain the water from my rice, and then add your rice in your boiling water carefully. So I'm trying just to add the rice and not add the water that we soaked it in. So now we're just going to boil the rice in the salt water until it's 3/4 cooked. I'll semi put the lid on, I won't put it on all the way. The reason why I don't like putting the lid on all the way is because the water tends to overflow and overboil and spill out. So yeah. I'm just going to give this a little stir, and I'm also going to check the salt. I'm going to taste one of the grains of, ooh, hot. I'm going to actually taste one of the grains of rice for salt. Yeah, I want to add a little bit more salt in that. There we go. So you can always check your salt levels, guys. So I've put 4 teaspoons of salt into my rice. Okay, I think that should be sufficient now. Don't mix it too much because you're going to end up breaking your rice. So we're not going to fully cook the rice here. We're going to cook it until it's about 3/4 of the way done, because we're going to steam the rice at the end with the masala. So you just need to check it, break it. If it breaks easily, that means it's pretty much done. So get a colander ready in your sink, because we're going to drain the rice when it's done. And you basically put a colander in your sink and then just drain all the water out of the rice, okay? See my rice? Okay, I've just drained it, okay? And it looks like that. I'm going to move you back up here, because we're going to dry out the water from our potato and chicken now, our masala. So just put that pot to the back, turn it off. Right, bring this back to the front and put it on a high heat now. The potatoes are cooked, or should be cooked. I'll just double check them. Yes, they are cooked. So the chicken is cooked, the potatoes are cooked. So I'll just put this on a high heat now, our biryani masala, and we're going to cook it until all the water dries out. It's going to take a little while. Can you see? So the water's dried out and it's just oil and masala left in there now. So that is what we're looking for. So that is ready, so let's turn that off. Cooked our rice already. So I cooked my rice in this pot. Okay, and I'm going to steam my rice in this pot now as well. So what you do is you layer your rice. So I like to do it in 2 layers. So I'm going to add in 1/3 of my rice will go into the bottom of the pan. Half of our masala. Okay, so add in half of your biryani masala. Okay, so just layer it and spread it out. Okay, yeah, you can add lemon slices, you can add coriander, you can add mint leaves, whatever you like, whatever your family likes, whatever you prefer. You can add all of that stuff in if you want to, absolutely. So all the rest of my rice is going in. Okay, so I'll put it on a high for a few seconds just to heat up the pan a little bit, and then I am going to turn it to a low. So we're going to steam the rice for about 10 minutes on a low heat. Okay, so I think it's been 10 minutes, so let's have a look at our biryani. So I'll just turn the heat off. Okay, and now we're just going to fluff it up and mix it in a little bit. So just be careful not to break your rice, okay? Just get your spatula in, and you just want to kind of just upturn the rice a little bit, just to mix in the masala a little bit with the rice. Not too much, just a little bit, okay? Whoopsie. That is our delicious Bombay style biryani ready to eat. We have masala, we have potatoes, we have chicken, and everything together. Let's give it a taste. Oh wow. So I'm gonna go and enjoy my biryani. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.